So we are in our 12th season of Bigfork Playhouse Children's Theater. We started in 2001 as kind of a dream. We started putting shows together. It started that first season with 3 shows. Our very first show, we cast 82 children on stage. And have since kind of learned our lessons, but this year we've got over 50 in the one that we're producing right now. So we do everything we can to have somewhere between 30 and 50 kids on stage for each show, but it's been going for about 12 years. One of the extra things that we like to do here is offer workshops, things where you can work on skills. So many times in a show you don't have time to really work on acting skills, and so workshops are that specific spot. And of course we started with them with myself, or I'd bring somebody in to do a tech workshop, or small things that would take a week or a month. Which then eventually progressed into being able to use the actors that I hire in the summer, the professionals that are for the summer playhouse. They'll come in and teach the week-long workshops in the summer, and I've actually got it set up more like a college curriculum, where there'll be one actor that teaches a session for an hour on Monday and Wednesday, and a different one the next hour, and a different one the next hour, and of course Tuesday and Thursday are different days, so those kids see at least 6 different instructors over the course of a musical theater summer workshop in the summer. So it's just progressed to have more option and more opportunity for the kids.
I'm in 7th grade, and my monologue is from West Side Story. Stay back! How do you fire this gun, Cheetah?
Lice, or fleas, or gosh knows what else crawling in them. And furthermore, they stink.
At a typical audition, we see anywhere from 60 to 100. Depending on the show, depending on the size of the cast. This particular cast we knew was going to be large, and it also involves 2nd graders through 12th graders. So we'll see usually double the amount of kids on those. And it's not just Bigfork kids, it's all through the valley. Originally the kids would all show up with their little poem or their monologue or whatever, and probably 90 to 95% of them read it. And as they got going through the process, they realized that they can do more with a monologue if it's memorized. And now it's really about 5% that don't show up memorized. They're all 95% memorized. It's really good. It's neat to see that the kids put in the effort before the show, before the audition, to be able to come prepared for auditions, and that it means something to them. There are a few that when they don't get a part, we never see them again, but most of them do. We try to make it positive when they don't get cast. We try to make them know that it's not because they're bad, it's just sometimes a numbers game, or sometimes they didn't do something as well as somebody else, but not to give up. And they do, they return. We have no stars in this cast. There are no stars. We have 51 people, and every single person is equally as important. I don't care if it's your first show or if it's your 31st show. We are all equal. There are no stars. That's it. We'll cast a show typically on a Tuesday night, and then we'll start the following day on a Wednesday with a basic meeting. Try to get everybody in line. We'll tell them what their schedules are, kind of what their duties are, what's the expectation. And realistically, about 2.5 weeks later, we are opening a show. So the kids rehearse Mondays through Thursdays from 4:30 to 8, and Sundays from 2 to 6. And within that time frame, about 8 days of serious blocking and choreographing and putting those things together. And we have to start running the show, and we start adding technical aspects, things like lights and sound and scene changes, fog and smoke if it's there. But then within that time frame, it's about a 4-week commitment total, but about 2.5 weeks of rehearsal, and we're up and running.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Everyone is going to grab on their belt buckles, and you're going to step with your right foot and scuff your left foot. Step with your left foot and scuff your right foot. Yeah? Can everyone do that for me? 5, 6, 7, 8. Step,
many times people ask me how we get what we get out of these kids for these shows. They say the level of performance is so much different than what they expect from children's theater. And I always tell people I don't talk to the kids like they're little kids. I talk to them like I would talk to my adults, and I expect it. If I expect something out of the kids, they give it to me. If I let them slide, they will. But if I tell them I don't want them to slide and I expect that high level of performance, they give it to you.
Pharaoh's number 2, Joseph. Egypt looks to you.
Basically, I just come up and start pulling stuff, figuring out what's going to work for what characters, and then I start the arduous process of trying to schedule costume fittings. Everybody's busy. A lot of people are driving from out of town, so I don't want them to have to make a special trip down here. And I'm busy too, so coordinating our schedules for costume fittings is probably the hardest part, but once I get them in here, they get hopefully only one costume fitting, sometimes two. And then I start fixing and getting everything to fit. Walk home little. Yeah, so this is kind of... I grew up here in Bigfork, and I was able to bring my kids back here to raise them, which I'm very excited about, but I never dreamed at the time that we would have something this magical and special in our little town of Bigfork. I mean, to have this in our town where these kids can come and put on a performance is just, it blows me away that we have this here. And that's why I love helping it. I feel so strongly about the effect it's had on so many kids, and that it's good for our town and just all of our community and our outlying communities, that I will volunteer here until I can no longer do it.
For a production here with the Children's Theater, there are no adults that are in the process. Of course, the adults help. The adults are directors and choreographers, although sometimes I use students as choreographers. But when the show happens, there is not an adult on stage. There are only kids that are back running the lights, the sound, any of the tech things, the fly rail. We train them to do the whole show. So when the show starts, I can sit in the back and just watch it. And you get to watch them problem solve, because in live theater things happen. Somebody forgets to bring something, someone says a line wrong, the music starts. They have to problem solve, and so you can watch them fix, and they feel good about themselves because they know that they fixed it and someone didn't show them how to do it.
I saw you running through the curtains. Julia's mom, where can I?
Dreams of our dear brothers are the decades biggest yawn. His talk of storms.
Brock is absolutely amazing. He's taught me a lot, not only about singing but about values. I tried it out once and I was so nervous my first time, and I've just grown to love it, and all the people that come with it. It teaches you responsibility. It's just a great environment to be around, and the actors are great. Everything is just a lot of fun.
Rise above us all. The accuracy of...
It's taught me life skills. I'm homeschooled, so I don't get out that much.
Yeah.
And so it taught me how to socialize with other people and just have a good time with other friends. My father died when I was 6. He passed away. And so it's like when I started doing shows, he's like become a real like second dad to me, like a life lesson teacher.
This dreamer has to go.
I think the greatest thing that I've found about the theater is how much confidence it's built in them both. I remember bringing specifically my 9th grader to the theater to try out for Narnia, and he sat in the car and he was just fearful, and I watched him walk in as that fearful little boy, and by the end of that production he came out a very young man, just matured and just built his confidence. And I just can't say enough about the Bigfork Children's Theater.
I've been involved in theater since I was in probably the 2nd grade. And what I've always just loved about it is just the kind of the way that you get to know the cast and kind of become like one big family. What I really love about working with this cast and working with Brock and Caleb and Jenna is that everyone is just so encouraging. Everyone has your back, and you can try new things, and nobody's gonna laugh at you, nobody's gonna put you down. It might work, it might not, but it's still a safe environment where you can really learn and grow.
Brock is truly a major part of my life, and the things he's taught me in this theater are just incredible. I could say that it's taught me responsibility and I've made friends, but really like, this theater is pretty much home, more than home. I feel like I spend more time here than I do anywhere else.
And I've had teachers that have said that a kid who's been in a couple of my shows walks down the hallway of their school a little bit different. They have a different confidence, a different self-worth, and in so many schools there are other things that seem to be more important. So these kids at least feel like they have something that's theirs and they feel confident.